What's holding you back? Yourself.
Well, hold on. Where should I start this?
Anywhere, just go.
Okay, maybe because I was influenced by a lot of the parties that my mom would take me to, which I would, as a teen, I was kind of like, this is so corny. Maybe that mindset when I went to I'm not going to say any, but I've been to Filipino events before where it's not up to my standard, really, or industry standard. And not just that, presentation. If it's going to be like whatever it is they do, I don't want my panels or events to be that. It looks
cheesy.
Yeah, you said it. I didn't. So, that's okay. I'll take it.
Welcome to the Paco's Place podcast.
Visit abaeservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, live at Paco's Place, big round of applause, Mr. Edwin Santos.
Wow. Awesome. I love the audience.
Oh, you believe me, during post-production, twice as much audience in the studio. You'll never know that they're all here. So, Filipino Hollywood Actors Panel. How long has it been? What's your participation in it? Why does it even exist?
The Filipino Hollywood Actors Panel began the concept began in 1998 when I became an actor. I did that because the workshops I went to how to become an actor and how to do this, how to do that, and how to avoid didn't really speak for me. It only spoke for those who I feel has an advantage with the information to go forward. But for me, as an Asian American, but specifically as a Filipino American, which we're not even represented at all, I felt that I should maybe start a panel of some sort. I don't know what it was at the time, but I knew what the idea is.
So you had a memo in your head.
I had a memo in my head. The thing is that I had the idea in 98. I implemented it in 2015 because of 3 reasons.
I was going to ask you. Number 1, Jerry Maguire, and what happened to? No, just kidding.
In 98, when I became an actor, I was a nobody, unknown, so no one knew who I was. Second, so I didn't have a reputation, like for people to trust me, right? I have to gain trust for people. Like if I had to get Dante Basco, for example, he has to know who maybe he could, but I feel that
that was your opinion.
That's my opinion, because like I know how the industry works sometimes, because I worked before I became an actor, I was a PA and all that stuff, and I knew how, you can't want to, eggshells on the floor, and you want to,
right.
You have to say yes to everything, whatever. But because I was an actor, I was unknown. Second reason is that there were not many Filipino American actors during that time. So
Abe was around, right? You familiar with Abe?
I'm familiar with Abe, okay. But I didn't know him at the time.
Okay.
But I wanted to get, and I have to agree with Ted in this sense because I saw his interview. If I were to put the panel together, it has to be those who already broke the ceiling, those who are working, and those who you can see on TV and film on a weekly or whatever basis. I've been requested by other actors who I don't know, who are as unknown as I am, or currently I am, or whatever, that want to be part of the panel. I said, well, I'm really gonna have to turn you down.
So you turned people down?
I have.
Nothing personal.
Nothing personal. If you saw my last panels, you would see who you're gonna be with. Unless I do, at some point I did something where like I would have 3 actors who are well known and have 1 actor who is just starting out. Maybe I could get away with that.
So Ruben's one of them. No.
Ruben I haven't had in the panel yet.
Rob Schneider, would he be considered in the panel?
I don't know about him.
Okay.
I don't know.
So what would the criteria be, Edwin?
Mainstream.
So mainstream, ceiling broken.
Mm-hmm.
To people who don't understand what that meant, it actually means that you've made your mark or tapped the board somehow, or have gotten or have done something significant, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Basco brothers would be there.
I was hoping to get them this year, but I didn't.
So what do you do in the panel?
In the panel, well, in the beginning, it was 2 Filipino American actors on TV and film, and then and it will always be 4 spots. So 2 Filipino American actors, and the other 2 will be either an agent or director, agent, casting director, or a talent rep. And they don't have to be Filipino; it can just be
Anybody, yeah.
anybody. And I was able. So the first panel in 2015, I had Eugene Cordero before he did Kong.
Yeah.
I had Tess Paras, and I had an agent from I forgot the name of the agency. I'm so sorry. I had Janet Cha. That's the agent. And then I had Billy the Moda, casting director.
Okay.
And that went well. And
so what do you do? So you invite people to. So what do they do?
What do you mean?
Like people in the panel. So now they're there. So you have these 2. And this started in 2015, right?
That's the other reason, because the reason it took so long for me to do it in 2015 because I couldn't find a nonprofit that was matching my mission statement.
Right.
And at that time, by 2015, I met the folks at Film Creative. And this is with Rex Sampaga, Walter.
Rex! I love Rex.
Walter Boholz and Edward J. Malinin.
Yes.
Film Creative. And I checked the other places, and it wasn't really matching. But when I checked them out, I'm like, this is going to be a beautiful relationship, I feel.
So you approached them.
Well, they approached me.
Wow.
Because they approached me not because of the panel, because they had no idea what I had planned. But they asked me, like, how would you like to be a part of the leadership in 2015? And I was not really looking, even at that time, I was looking, as an actor, and I'd done so many, really strange roles, and roles that I don't play Filipino. I play Kiwi, Alaskan, Asian, Chinese waiter, whatever.
Never a Filipino?
Never a Filipino, and I feel like identity crisis here. So I feel like I want to work on something like a Filipino as anything, and I worked on a film called Brown Soup Thing in 2008. Ed Malinin wrote and directed it. He cast everyone he knew, which included John Briones and Jason Rogel, Manny Pacquiao, everybody that was there, and I played one of the many uncles of the main lead actress. Anyway, because of our working together, and we also did a magazine show on YouTube together. We interviewed different people, but because of that, I think he sensed that I had this leadership quality, I guess, and I was a producer before, so maybe that's it too. He asked me to join Film Creative. I said, great. I thought about it 2 days, because I wasn't sure. But I had this idea, and I approached them like, hey, listen, I will join if I can implement my actors panel with your organization.
And they said yes.
They said yes.
Okay, so now, okay. They said yes. Now, the actors panel was about to begin in 2015. What was the goal for 2015? So you got your 2 Phil-Ams, you got your agent and casting directors. What was the goal now? To empower, to inform, to...
Yeah, those 2 things, and also I felt also if mainstream were to watch this and YouTube, whatever, is to show them that there are us out there who've been working our butts off in the last decade or so, or like Dante for so many years, not many years. I don't want to date him, but I'm but we still haven't gotten our bigger breaks and or opportunities, or more opportunities than what we usually get. That was the goal. Also, the other goal is, for me, really, I'm selfish because I wanted to learn from them how they were able to break through. So I sit there behind the panel, I'm taking notes for me as well, because I'm also learning from.
Now, is there a live audience?
It goes. Live audience. Film Creative members would go, or for me, I would rather focus not just the membership, but also focus people from outside to come in, which is great for Film Creative because we could have them join the nonprofit as well. But for me, it's I want outside people who are especially maybe Filipino immigrants or Filipino Americans who's here and who doesn't know what to do.
How about
with their lives.
Filipino Canadians not included? No.
Oh no! Because COVID, I continued on using Zoom. So I did 3 years of the Actors Panel on Zoom, not with Film Creative, but with the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce of Hollywood. And then I had the cool thing with Zoom is that you can get anybody outside the U.S., outside LA.
Like Jason Asuncion. Are you familiar with the guy?
No.
He did Man in the High Tower or something like that. That thing on Amazon Prime. It was a nice movie. He played a Japanese. Anyway, if Jason watches the podcast, he's a batchmate of JJ in the Philippines, and he's a Filipino Canadian actor. And who knew? Like we were like, oh my god!
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was watching it on Prime, and I'm like, is that freaking Jason?
I mean, we had Karen Faye. She played the grandmother for Blue's Clues and You. We had her. That's Canadian.
How about Reggie Lee? No.
We had Reggie Lee. That was the 2018.
Have you heard the guy speak Tagalog?
Yeah, he's so good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when he speaks like you, like just English, you wouldn't think that he knows how to speak Tagalog fluently. Like his not neutral American accent is so spot on that. Oh my God, you speak Tagalog?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not even like an exaggerated thing. It's very nice, like
right,
elegant. Is that a word?
Yeah, it is a word. Who else did you have on?
Okay, so
Tia Carrere.
When she was in LA in 2018, I asked her to be part of it, but she said, "I'm living in Hawaii." I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. Look, 'cause that's the other thing. Like in Film Creative, any nonprofit I'm with, they can't afford to fly them in. I understand that, so I would rather have them be local, unless we go Zoom. But at that time,
you know, here's an interesting thing, because I'm in a Filipino band, Filipino American band. It's a very popular band in the Philippines, and we do projects here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time that there were all these benefit shows, and they would use my band to generate income for the nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do it for free until we started understanding. And maybe this could be something that you guys do if you haven't done it. We started charging our talent fee in the form of gift receipts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Because you guys are a nonprofit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was from Hawaii, I would buy my own plane ticket and be at the panel, and that plane ticket will be compensated in the form of a gift receipt from you guys.
Yeah, I think we did that the first time this year with April Absinthe. She's an actress for
a project.
Blind Spotting.
Oh, okay.
It's not my project. I hope I'm not crossing. I just said the name. It's not my project, by the way. This is where I get confused with SAG. I don't know what to say.
Yes.
But anyway. She's a regular on that show, and she was a part of the panel. And I think she wanted. Should I even talk about this?
No.
Anyway, she wanted something, and we gave her a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because we got to take advantage of how do we bring what's holding back these actors with knowledge to be on the panel, right?
Well, here's the thing. Like I always pitch it in a way, and I learned this when I was a producer and for films. I pitch it in a way like do it for the community.
Yes.
I mean, you guys are getting paid already in other places. This is just a community thing. So a majority of them has done that, and that's awesome.
But like with you, the satisfaction, 98, 2008, 10 years, 2015, so 17 years. 17 years.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about doing this only once a year. Like I've been told, or I've been advised, it's been suggested I do this every month. Like, you got to be kidding. It's like, it's not so much my time, it's the actors' time, because they have projects to do or vacations to take, whatever. So it's like, you can't. Could it be? I don't know.
I'll play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Could it be just like the way you just like the way you placed your project on the back burner because you thought that you weren't influential enough, do you think that you are assuming that these actors wouldn't give you the time now that there is momentum, there has been momentum since 2015? Maybe every 6 months, maybe every quarter?
It's been suggested I could do a podcast.
Yes, I could help you.
Like, I need help. Look at this face.
Right? But maybe you should, because the same way you're learning from the actors panel which you created, other people can definitely benefit. Like, I hope we're not crossing. My wife is a nurse, and we would really laugh at shows that are that have scenes in the hospital, and we're like, oh, come on, let's see how many Filipino nurses will show up. None.
Well, there's been a few.
Some, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Doing a podcast. I never said no actually to them, so it's I just have to figure things out.
Now, where do you find fulfillment? Is it in acting? Is it in producing, directing, writing, or doing community service like this one?
I think each one of those things fill different voids, fill different parts of it.
Who were you growing up, Ozzy? Now we're getting to
Here we go. Time for the reveal.
See why I said, shoop. I mean, why did you even pursue acting? Who was Edwin growing up? And the reason why I want to ask you this is because I want, my goal, our mission, JJ and I and Michael, our mission is when people watch this podcast, people like you inspire them to actually think that if that guy can do it, what's stopping me from pursuing my dream?
Yeah.
So what made you pursue what you want?
I think it's because I was okay. So both my parents worked full time.
As what?
My father was an accountant. My mom is now a retired nurse. But when they work, they would only see each one of them at certain times. So our television, for me, my TV was my babysitter. So I would watch a lot of TV and stuff.
How many siblings do you have?
I have a sister and a brother.
Your middle child? No.
I'm the oldest.
Oh, that's okay.
So growing up as a kid in Chicago, I would just watch TV all the time. Maybe a lot of the TV shows and movies, I was kind of like, can I be part of that world? Can I just jump into the
Really?
tube?
How old were you when you had this rhetoric in your
I
head?
was 6 or 7, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you went to school, did you join plays, those extracurricular?
That's
no?
the other thing. It's like I never knew there was such a thing that existed for us to go into. Like I thought, can I just jump into the TV set
Okay.
instead? But I didn't know that. And then the other thing is that when Star Wars came out,
Oh, heck yeah.
theaters, that totally turned my views. Like, oh, I can't. Well, there's two instances. Star Wars, when it came out, that was 77, I think. And then in 80, before I left, in 80, Steve McQueen, and he was shooting a film called The Hunter near our school. And I never saw a filming take place live like that. So we went out and saw him. Well, we saw a stuntman jump from one roof to another. But I met
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen. I was like, oh my! I was a kid, like. But
So these incidents left impressions in you, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, I wasn't able. I didn't really pursue it still because you still have your parents going like, you're a Catholic boy, stay in Catholic school, or when you got to high school or college, like become a nurse or something like that.
Okay. Let's talk about that part of the dinner table conversation. Did you ever get the courage to say, I want to be an actor?
I think I said that because when I finally said something, because I'm going to make this part short. It's just when I got to, after high school, when I was struggling in high school because I couldn't pass this particular math test to get into college, and I don't want to repeat a grade, I finally passed it. And then I went, and I tried getting inside UCLA and all these other universities I wanted to go to, and I wasn't qualified to get in. So I went.
You were still in Chicago or here?
I was
in
here
LA?
already.
Okay.
So I went to a community college. I went to Santa Monica College.
Oh, nice.
I think it's the best community college,
Yeah.
I think. I went there. But because I was still thinking as a high school kid, I was kind of not being serious about being in college. So and this is embarrassing, folks, to be suspended from a community college for a year. Oh my God. I didn't tell my parents, like, why are you out of college? I decided to take a job. I can't afford college now. It was community college. Get out of my face. I'm going to work. Didn't really tell them I got suspended. Oh my God. So I did 4 years working at a Kmart on 3rd and Fairfax, and it taught me discipline, maturity, whatever like that. And then I went back to college. I went back
Prepared.
I was more prepared. I was more matured, and plus I knew what I want. I don't want to take.
Okay.
Well,
plus you knew what you want. So during your 4 year stint in Kmart, you.
God rest in peace. Bye.
I think the last one was here on Rosemead in San Gabriel. I kid you not.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Kmart until before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you figure that, you know what, I'm going to pursue acting? Was it during your Kmart stint that you figured out?
Yeah. Because I decided, like, I've been kind of saying yes to my parents. It's not their future. It's mine.
How easy is it to think that way? Because by the way, you don't speak Filipino.
No.
But then again, the mentality of, oh my God, up until your crossroad, you were like, sheesh, this is what they want for me, and this is what I have to do because this is what they want for me. That's a Filipino cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
It took you a while to break away from that mold, right? To say, this is not their future, this is mine.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How long was that inner conflict? All your life?
I think it started maybe I got into college because they were still wanting me to be a nurse. They wanted to be a nurse by the time I got into college. So that was 1, 2, well, hold on. 1, then got suspended. And then 4 years, that's 5 now. And then when I finally went back, I told them, hey, listen, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Which was
producing. I was afraid to say acting. You know, I figured producing is a much more stable job, I think.
So this was you talking to an accountant, trying to run the numbers and assess the risk, and your mom, who was a nurse, who actually certainly would always have a job, and here you are, I am going to be a producer.
That would be a safer bet to say to them because it sounds more stable than just an acting job. And in fact, in a way, I kind of prepared myself for that because I had actor friends in high school and they would tell me all these crazy stories. So I decided in college, well, okay, I can still pursue acting, but I'm going to have to get a stable job when I get out of here. So I'll pursue a television producing job because that's a much more stable job. We don't go seasonal at all. We just get a job. That's it. When I graduated from after San Marcos College, I transferred to Cal State Northridge, and I studied, television production, radio, everything, film production, everything I can think of, even the business part of it too. So
how many years of college now? 8 or 6?
Maybe it sounds like 8 to me.
It sounds like 8, right?
I did 2 years at CSUN, and I'm like, okay, I can't continue.
Oh, you did CSUN too?
Yeah, because I had to get that bachelor's degree.
Michael Abad did CSUN.
Yeah. So I didn't want to hit 10 years of college. Golly. And those grants. Anyway, so I graduated from CSUN, and then I went out to Hollywood.
As an intern?
As an intern. I did internship at Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
How many years as an intern?
It doesn't matter. Well, for me, I did maybe 1 season on that.
So 1 season is like a full year.
I guess, yeah.
The reason why I'm saying is because people think that just because you studied TV production and all these stuff and even got major subjects under your belt, when you go to Hollywood, you still have to go start at the bottom as an intern.
Yeah. Or a production assistant.
Yes.
Either way. And then those two things, like if you figured you survived high school, becoming an intern and worse, a PA in and you don't know anybody or trust. I mean, it's like you have to start over again with this mindset, like who, not to trust, but I mean, I don't want to say that, but it's true. Who to trust, who will be the closest people that you can call your friends that will support you no matter what happens to you. that's also difficult to figure out who your real friends
Is
are.
it really a
and stuff like
dog
that.
eat dog world in Hollywood?
I think I feel that if you don't have, because
Like from the bottom all the way to the top, it's really dog eat dog.
it is, at least from my experience, it was dog eat dog. Yeah, someone will just take it if you're like someone that you knew, sense that you have found some kind of success, they will come. I had a friend, ex-friend. He found out that I had some kind of success. I also got married too. This is years later. So I got married also. So he came back around saying like, "Hey, listen, can you, put this check in your." Like, I don't know why. Like, because I trusted him, and because 8 years we've known each other, and we produced 2 films together. So I didn't have any doubts. He gave me a check or something for me to put in my account, and then he wanted me to take it out real fast. And I didn't think of anything wrong with that, so I did. And then my bank said, "Oh, we're closing your account, check fraud, all this stuff." So I spent like during that time, like maybe 3 months, trying to save my name with the banks and whatever like that. And
That's bad.
but he ran, and I realized, I found out that he was in on this the whole time, because he gave me like fake company names. He used a letterhead from a distributor that he stole to put on a fake person's name. It's a whole crazy mess, to the point that it cost my marriage as well, which is like, because we were just starting. Yeah, it was only 2 months in, and then all of a sudden, so when I have to warn people, like when people talk at panels and I hear that it's fun, they make it rosy, nice. I was part of an Asian panel back in 2015, and I was the last one up. Everybody had this conversation where kind of like, it's great, it's rosy, it's you'll find this, you'll meet that, it's all great. By the time I came up, I said, if you don't have a thick skin in this business, get out. That was my first intro.
Wow. So is it true that there are actors who hate each other, but when the camera starts rolling, you think they're the best of friends? Does that exist?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I don't think actors. I think I mainly, because my experience has been with producers. One producer took advantage of my kindness, and
So it does happen, huh?
it does happen. It does happen whether you're in the low end of things, non-union productions. It could happen in union productions as well. I've seen this happen. Oh, Jesus Christ, what's happening right now at the strikes, when you have studios giving union background actors no choice to scan their faces for AI, and they'll use it at any time, forever, without
Like
anything.
your likeness is supposed to be your IP, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that right now. Like I could, if I'm part of the studio, I could scan you as let's pretend you're a background actor. I could scan you, and now I own your likeness.
Mm-hmm. And you only get paid one time for that scan, but you won't get paid when
No
they
recurring
use it.
royalty?
Yeah, no recurring royalty, and that's what we're fighting against. Sorry, I burp.
That's bullshit.
It is. That image, and also voice, because I do voiceover auditions
Right.
too, and I'm kind of like, oh no, they could actually
Es-
use my voice for anything at this point.
Especially with AI, Chat GPT, all that stuff coming out. Like writers, they could write full synopsis or.
I don't know. I had a friend do that ChatGPT on one of my pitches for the actors panel, and I read it. I'm like,
Nah.
it's dumb. I see the cell. I sense it, but it's not. It doesn't have a lot of. It doesn't have substance. It's just like you just grabbed words and like a puzzle. That's all it was to me. So no. So I don't know what the question was, but it's all.
No. I'm just intrigued because AI. Who knew, that something that was advantageous in the movie industry is now taking over real live actors in the movie industry.
Yeah.
Like before, like dead actors.
Tupac showing up in that concert. I
Right?
admit that was kind of cool, but I'm like,
Yeah.
if you got the permission from their state, then I guess that's fine. But
Where do you draw the line with regard to that? With regard to intellectual property?
I just feel there should be regulations, really. There are no regulations, no government regulations at this point right now to control the the rapid use of AI on anybody, on anything. Also on keystrokes, what I read about Zoom.
Keystrokes?
Yeah, have you saw that report yesterday where it's like when you're typing on your Mac keyboard, the
Zoom
AI,
records it?
since there's a mic, it records the way, the pattern you type certain things. So if you're typing your password the way you usually do, and they sense this is the pattern, then they can input what the keyword, what the each letter or number is, and then they get the password that way. At least that's what was my understanding when I was freaking out when I was reading the article. But I'm like, oh God, you got to be kidding.
Where? Wow.
I'm already covering my
your
laptop camera
yeah.
with, and then now this is
Where is the movie industry headed, in your opinion? Is it going to be like with the rise of YouTube, with the rise of TikTok, shorts, reels? How is Hollywood and union members competing with the independents, the influencers, and all?
I don't know. We didn't even know this was happening when. I mean, I saw it like when broadcast TV would put their shows on streamers, sometimes a week later or even at the same time or the day later. I'm like, okay, maybe that's normal. But then I thought, like, okay, fine, so many people are watching streamers, so we should get a residual checks. You get, but it's like either 1 cent or this guy had zero on his check. I used for DVD, when DVD was a thing, I used to get checks that was, it was still little, but it was like more than that.
Snoop was I'm gonna paraphrase. He said, I want to understand how people like me get paid for streaming. Because back in the day, if I sold 1 million records, I know that I will make X percentage from the sale of 1 million records.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference now?
The difference now is they're keeping they're keeping all the money and keeping secrets of how many streams are out there. So I really don't know. Like, I can't really give you an answer because they are hiding a lot of the numbers from us.
Let's go back. Like this conversation we're having, this is very intelligent and educational. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the Filipino Hollywood actors panel. This conversation we're having, do these type of topics come out during the panel discussion? Because right now, I would say an actor is his own brand and his own business, mm-hmm. right? He has to know this. Like, AI can rip you off. I mean, be careful how you speak or what you say, because that could be used somewhere else. And your IP, your intellectual property, belongs to you. I mean, if you're not careful about it, someone can just take advantage of it.
Right.
Is this something that you guys talk about on the panel?
Yeah. I inform my panelists, you feel free to say anything you want, because that's what I want. However, if there's some things you don't want to talk about, let us know. And if you don't want to talk about it, you have to also censor yourself. Because if I'm in the back and I don't know what's going on and you start saying something, or maybe you don't want to say it, and I get it. I'm not going to stop you or whatever like that. But if you start saying it, I'm not going to stop you because you're giving yourself free will to say it. But if you don't want to talk about it, then censor yourself or let me know.
It's like what we do, no? It's like I'll tell you what we can't talk about, but if you start talking about it, I am not going to stop you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So now it's 2023 as we're taping this episode. What's the plan for the panel? How is it going to grow? We mentioned podcast a while ago, which I think you should. So that way people will have content wherever they are. But again, you have to monetize that, all that thing. But how do you envision this?
I like to see it go bigger. It has the potential to go bigger.
In your hands, or are you willing to pass it on to someone else?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like,
that's a nice question, huh?
I know. Going back to the TED question, my answer is
You want a
different.
swear jar? No, just kidding.
No. He was playing checkers with that thing. I was just trying. No, I mean, I do have. As long as I'm still alive, I'm gonna not. In the beginning, I didn't want to share. Well, at least the name producer, but now it's for me founder. Producing the actors panel. Although this year when I did the panel, I had two other partners I've never worked with before, and they became producers as well in their own right because they gave me ideas that I didn't think of or I was too stubborn to accept. Yeah, and because we did two panel events that one day for 3 hours in a little less than 99 seat theater. They gave
So
me.
I'm sorry. So this is like inside the actors' workshop kind of style,
It's more, yeah. Well,
but
workshop,
intimate.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
it's intimate. I like
Okay.
it. I like it better. Well, this year, because of the Zoom stuff we did last 2 years, my plan for the 10th edition was to go back to where it started, which was this place called the Clubhouse, which is in East Hollywood area, which is less than 99 seats. It's intimate. It's a black box theater, and it screams actor performance. Like you sit there and it's an old stage and stuff.
Okay, so you did two. This recent one.
Yeah,
3 hours.
3 hours. The first panel was all actors. You know, which
No
is
casting director. Not.
yeah, because I mean, later in the years I couldn't. It's much harder to get them to book them for us. And it was decided that the second panel would be about actors. Well, there were casting director. Luckily, there's a Filipino casting director I just finally met because I have 3 years of trying to find him. He cast a lot of the Clint Eastwood films. He was there plus a returnee casting director, which I had in 2016. But we also had actors who became directors, producers themselves, take it to another level in their career as part of the second panel, which is the producer, actor, creator, producer panel, I guess. What a long name for that producer panel. And that was also interesting as well. So we had two different panels. And I figured that successfully went pretty well. But I'm going to do this every 5 or 10 years. I'm not going to do this every year because it's just
Too much.
a lot. It's a lot of. I mean, for me, when I prepare the actors panel every year, I start around late January until June
When it happens.
So that's like 5 or 6 months of
Prep,
prep work,
including marketing,
marketing,
production, pre-prod, yeah.
booking, tweeting, the actor. Twitter was my communication place. Talking to the reps, which is another layer of things. But all good, and we did pretty well. But just where would I see it? I've been told we can. I mean, I was convinced after doing that 2-panel bit, we could now do it at a bigger stage, and we could do 2 panels, or we have 1 panel with 10 panelists. Oh my God!
What's holding you back? Yourself.
No, I don't think. I fear, and this is this is what the other question that Ted kind of mentioned, and I knew where he was coming from because I feel the same way too. So because I too have been to even before. Well, hold on. Where should I start this?
Anywhere, just go.
Okay, maybe because I was influenced by a lot of the parties that my mom would take me to, which I would as a teen. I was kind of like, this is so corny. Maybe that mindset when I went to I'm not going to say who they are, but I've been to Filipino events before where it doesn't look, it's not up to my standard really, or industry standard, right? And not just that, presentation. If it's going to be like whatever it is they do, and I know what they do, but I don't want my panels or events to be that at all. It looks
cheesy.
Yeah. You said it. I didn't. So that's okay. I'll take it. I don't want to put you in the boat. Yeah. So I wanted to go bigger, but it has to be within my terms and my understanding and my expectations.
And you know what? It's a reflection of who you are and what is in your mind. And aesthetics do mean a lot. Sometimes aesthetics attracts people to the substance you want to present to them. And the medium is the message. I keep saying that's what I learned in journalism.
Marshall McLuhan.
Yes, right. I mean, it's a very, very simple statement, but it's true though. The medium is the message.
Yeah. If we go big, when we go big, I'm gonna try to make sure we go small. I don't know what that means, but I'm like, but we'll
That's
go
nice,
big. But it'll be like, we can go. Okay, maybe. Okay, I mean, that's the best I can say it. Like, we can do a big stage, but it'll be minimalistic presentation.
And still intimate. Maybe.
Intimate, black colors, white colors, gray colors, or whatever like that.
Now.
Well, I wanted to continue. Oh, and in terms of me sharing the pot, as long as I'm still alive,
it's yours.
It's mine. And then now, when I'm ready to retire or let it go, I'll give it to somebody who deserves, who I feel will take it to the next level, I think, and we'll work hard doing it.
Are your folks still around?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, my dad's not. I'm sorry. My dad was in the Philippines in 2013 when the hurricane hit.
Oh.
So he experienced a heart attack like during Halloween when we were celebrating Halloween here. But he survived that. But the second attack happened like November 8th. And
he was still in the Philippines.
So that was not good.
So 2013. So pretty much you were already in Hollywood. What did your mom and dad have to say when you finally penetrated Hollywood?
Oh, come on. Well, they would say, like, so where's the paycheck? What? Is that what matters to you? The paycheck? Come on. I have it in my account. You're never going to see it. I'll pay the electric bill, if that helps. I don't know. You know how Filipino parents are like. To them, success is if you get on a major television show and they see your face there, like throughout the whole thing.
But it's sad, no?
Or they see a giant paycheck on your end, but I never show them because I don't want another.
I think it's sad. Like
thing.
the reason why I'm asking you is because like it I experienced it, and other people are probably going through that obstacle. You know, I mean, the one thing that they want from their parents is support, not financial, but just support that. Yeah, you can do it. Go.
I also feel, and this is later on, because I realized the responses I would have was selfish. I think they want the best from me or for me, for me. Whereas when they get older, or if they're not around, that I'm able to survive whatever career I've chosen. I get that. I mean, I don't know.
But again, that's subjective, though.
That is very subjective.
Like what you said should strike a chord with our viewers and listeners, because when you said you're able to pay your electric bill, sometimes as long as you have a roof over your head, you're able to eat, you're able to do what you love.
I don't mind. I love living a middle class life. I'm never meant. I mean, if I get to the point where I'm living pretty, like highly successful and stuff like that, I'm still gonna probably be living in a middle class life,
right?
Because I don't want to fall into any traps. But I love living a middle class life. I think my parents was kind of like happy that my sister became a nurse. I'm like, oh great,
someone had to do it.
Yeah, someone had to do it. Now it's like holding on me. My mom. I just got this like she knew I was going to be here, and she said something like, the strike is happening. You can still go back to, you can still become a nurse. What? I'm whatever my age is. I'm not gonna. No. So no. I'll play a patient at a hospital and pretend that way, but I'm not gonna be a.
Where does your family come from, sa Philippines?
Oh, okay. So my dad is from San Francisco Del Monte.
Yeah, in Quezon City. Yeah.
My mom is from Navotas,
yeah.
Rizal in Quezon City, Philippines, and stuff like that. They're both university graduates. I forgot where my dad from. Far East
For
something.
FEU, yeah, Far Eastern University.
He had an accounting degree, and my mom's from UP. He went to high school UP Diliman,
yes, yeah.
and then went to college UP Diliman.
Yeah. So UPIS and then UP Diliman for college.
Yeah, and she got a nursing degree there.
Nice.
And they both they never met in the Philippines, so they both separately on their own without knowing each other went to Chicago to start a new life, and they met there in Chicago, like around 1965 or something like that.
Did you ever go back to the Philippines? Did you go to the Philippines to see what it was like?
I've been there for summer vacations, like from 77 all the way to 96. But my dad decided to take all of us to the Philippines and live there, like settle there for one entire year. Like I think his plan was to live there forever. But that 1 year that we did stay, oh my God.
What was it like? Wait, how old were you?
Not a good age, 13.
Oh my God.
I learned a word called ethnocentrism, which means very bad things for me in the personality stage, which is not good. But I learned and it's also tough because I don't know Tagalog. So, but luckily I have loving cousins who were supportive. And
so the year that you were there, did you go to school?
Pranks. What?
Did you go to school there when you were there? No?
Yeah, we did. We we stayed at two places all the time. So we stayed either at my dad's sister's home in
San Francisco del Monte.
or at my Lolo's grandparents' home in Amparo Village.
Oh, okay.
This is when you write a letter to the Philippines, you have long things to say. So it's like
subdivision, whatever.
Amparo Village, whatever subdivision, Novaliches, Quezon City, Philippines. Yeah. So we lived, but I was mainly there because it was countryside at the time.
Right.
I'm sure it's all built up by now.
Oh, no, there's SM, there's all the malls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you were in Novaliches. Do you remember where you went to school?
St. Anthony Novaliches High School, which everybody goes to.
Shout out to everybody watching who was from St. Anthony's. I think I have friends who went to St. Anthony's also in Novaliches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't like the experience. You were young.
You know what?
First year high school, right? 13 eh? Second year. Oh, wow.
Because I was 7th grade in Chicago and then...
Yeah, there's no 8th grade, there's no 9th.
I know.
You go straight
Oh my God, every student was mature.
Yeah.
I was still a kid. What? Huh? Yeah, I had a lot of growing up to do real fast. It was kind of hard too because that whole year there, the first 6 months, my siblings and I were celebrities. They treated us like celebrities. I'm like, and at that time,
look at that, Edwin has an accent.
At 13, oh well, let's enjoy this ride.
Yes.
And then the next 6 months, we're like left alone. Like we're like alone. I'm reciting Shakespeare. Like, who am I? It's like it's weird. But yeah, it was an awesome, like looking back, even as an adult, at that time I was like, I thought I had a miserable time, but looking back now, I'm like, I'm glad I stayed there. I learned about my culture. I learned about the Philippines. I learned about how much pop culture has influenced not just America, but also Europe and Japan and Asia, especially music and film. I understood a little bit of politics, a little bit, just a little bit, not so much. And I also, but I learned also the socio-economic side of things. When you're driving, like I'm in a jeepney, and driving through a road where on one side is beautiful buildings in Makati, which by the way is my favorite place to go.
Still is nice.
Makati, and then this other side is all slums.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? This is
just
weird.
like that. Just by looking left and right.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a division divided by one road. Oh well, I don't know what that means.
But you know what? What's the reason why I asked is because maybe that could have been the catalyst, because that when you went into Hollywood, as much as you hated or hate-loved that 1 year in the Philippines, it probably rubbed off to the fact that, wait a minute, there's no actual representation of Filipino Americans in Hollywood that probably compelled you to think of building the panel back in 98 in your head. Could be.
Could be.
like the things that led you there, the things that you think did not have meaning, but as we're talking, I'm trying to piece it up with your history, with your culture at home, that 1 year exposure to the actual culture in the Philippines, to no representation in Hollywood. Like, see my goosebumps. Like,
Considering that we're like, well, in the last census, 2010, we're the second largest group in
Yeah.
America. In 2020, we dropped down to 3 because the Indians took over. And at that time, a lot of people didn't want to take the census. Don't ask me. I don't want to go there. But still, there's a lot of us in the United States, and still, I don't see. And I mean, I'm beginning to see. I mean, in the last since 2016, especially when the panel started, you had you had Nico Santos and Superstory at Manny, Justin Doe in Good Place. I'm starting to see a lot of popping up on, at least in television.
right.
Not so much in film, but a lot of it in television, a lot of it on streamers as well, because they gave us opportunity to be represented in the shows there. Sorry, I'm not in the mic. But it's and even behind the scenes, I've met so many Filipino American filmmakers in the independent route. I met a lot of writers who currently write for shows currently now on the air. 25% of them, still small, but it's a great start, I think. So I'm hoping, like, especially with this, like, of the 10 panels I've done so far, there's always a new generation of films coming
Yes.
up that I feel it's easy for them to get in now. It's considering the ones that who've done it previously in the past have at least opened those doors for them. So I see it coming. Like Sam Morales, I didn't know she was Filipino, but she's one of the leads in the 90s show.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But I've been introduced to a lot of new people coming up, and when I see them, and there's another thing. A few years ago, there's a Upright Citizens Brigade theater, the improv theater in Hollywood. They have a show called Filipino AF, and they had their first show, and I went. But it's like everyone you know or knew is there. And you see a new crop of comedians and improvisers on stage, and they're all Filipino. That was like 300 plus people were in their standing room. That was the largest audience at that theater, and it was all Filipinos for a Filipino show. And all the comedy that they did was all of the angst that you picked up when you were growing up. It's hilarious. I was laughing in the back. So it's awesome. So when I see that, and when I see the panel growing, it seems like a serendipity. I'm not sure that's the word, but it's like there's this unison that's happening. Before COVID, it was happening all at the same. This peak moments that I felt like we're gonna rule the world at some point. I don't know.
So that you mentioned COVID, that momentum. I mean, COVID stopped a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
Ours included, yours included. But how are you picking up?
I mean, we did 3 Zoom panels since COVID.
But then again, it was really meant for Zoom, right? I mean, it was meant to be intimate, live, and all that. So
Yeah.
now you're beginning to go back to that again, doing the whole 9 yards of presentation, aesthetics, blah blah blah. But how is it picking up now? Like,
I think it's picking up now. Again, I'm like the new generation that's coming up, and I see there's a whole crop that I would like to invite to the panels next year and stuff like that, including voice actors as well. Yeah, there's a lot. I wish this is why people are suggesting I should do a podcast so I can get these people in before not do it every year, every June of whatever. So
I think you should.
we'll see. I don't know.
Put it in the comments below.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't want it to take too much of my time because I'm also an actor myself. I'm trying to get through as well. I'm just doing more voice work than I did for live performance. So yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a sensitive question.
Uh-oh.
I normally don't ask. I normally don't give heads up, but I have to. So, the panel. You mentioned it's taking much of your time. Do you get paid?
No, I do it for the service of the community.
Okay. I mean, as funny as that sounds, it could be true, it could be not. But how can they support you with this, with the panel? They meaning people like me, like JJ, like the audience and everybody else. Is there a way to donate? Is there a way to...
I wish I could. I don't have any. No, I don't. I mean, I'm currently with Finland Creative. I mean, I could only say if you can, if everyone wants to support what we do, you can support Finland Creative by. We're planning on going back to in-person networking events. We haven't done that since COVID. So this way you can meet a lot of people from the past that was part of that golden era back in 2015, 16, and then you can also meet other people who've gone through their obstacles to get through this business to a point where they feel comfortable, I guess, some kind of success on their end. If you're a Filipino American or Filipino Canadian or any, or from the Philippines, be part of a very, very nurturing community with Finland Creative, because we do support the creative in you, whether you're an actor, producer, director, or writer. We have resources to get you there, to connect you to whatever you want to do. Could be a lighting, could be a gaffer, whatever you want. Craft services. Hey, we have a chef as part of our leadership board. Whatever. So I think just support the group, the Film Creative. We're
volunteer, right?
You can, you can volunteer. Yeah, we have events too, and we are open for volunteers. Whatever you could do, if you can do whatever you do at your job, volunteer, do that for us, with us. And who knows if you can also work on the actors panel as well. I've had people like if they can offer something like, oh, well, I can do camera work. Oh, great. Can you do camera? Can you record the entire thing? If you have 3 cameras, record the entire thing, edit together, and then have it for me, and I'll give you credit that way.
You know what's inspiring about this episode, this episode, and I hope people can latch onto it. There are people who may say, so who is Edwin Santos again? So what kind of actor is he? Because of the strike, we can't talk about your projects and all that, but I hope people understand that you're not waiting to be up there before doing something good for the community. And that, my friend, is a big hats off to you, because
Thank you.
That is an ultimate shout out, and I hope it inspires our audience to do something special and meaningful to other people and not wait for themselves to be rich and famous before doing it.
Yeah, that's the one thing you have to learn, folks. If you're entering this business to be rich and famous, just get out.
That's the 1%, right?
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't happen overnight, as they say.
Advice for aspiring artists in general, musicians, actors, based on your experience before we land your episode, what would you advise them?
Don't change, because this industry can change you. If you come in.
You got to be more specific than that. Now I'm intrigued.
Oh, I mean, look, I was a nice guy when I got to the industry, but when you're getting stabbed in the back, you discover a whole new anger in you. Listen. Oops, sorry. Here's the one thing I'm gonna advise to the audience.
Your audience.
Make sure you have an awesome, great supportive system of friends. If you're lucky to have parents that support you, you're already there. But if you have that support system of friends, whether it's part of your private life or people you've met in the industry, make sure they're going to be around with you when you're even down and out, right? That kind of thing, or if whatever else happens. Because they they are priceless. I feel,
Amen.
Without them, you can't really go it alone in this industry. It's such a lonely thing sometimes, and even if you think you can do it all, no. You have to have some kind of family that understands you, understands your psyche, understands your vulnerabilities, I guess, and at the same time you do the same as well for them, and so give or take kind of a relationship, working relationship, but family relationship with other talented people, creative people in your life. So I think that's my answer keeps changing every interview, but see, I think that's important to have that supportive group.
The core group. Do you have that?
Yes. It's different with me because it's different different core groups in different capacities in my either my life or in my work.
Are you happy with your core groups?
I'm happy. Sometimes the truth hurts and you don't want to accept it, but you gotta okay, all right, you're right. Okay, I'll make changes. Yeah, I think so. I think I have.
Are you still stubborn?
Yeah, there's always a stubborn thing with me. It's always stubborn with me. It's a trait I can't seem to forget. It comes up especially the actors panel. With a new group I have to work with, it's a bad habit. Here he comes again. But I think because it's a protective thing. This is the protective guy, making sure everything's on the up and up and making sure, nothing goes wrong kind of thing. I think it's fine to have a stubborn but not so much. Not so much to that it would put your career on hold. You don't want that. Don't let him in. So yeah. Before we end this thing, I think you and I have some kind of connection.
I want to hear.
I kind of mentioned it to you, to JJ before, that I have relatives that's in the business in the Philippines. I have a cousin. His name is Terrence. He was with a band called Orphan Lily back in the 90s. His last name is Teves. Teves.
Yes.
So my other cousin is Ditas Teves, which she's known as Cookie Teves.
Yes.
So I didn't know anything. I heard about Intro Voice before, in the last decade.
Shout out to Cookie, by the way. So Cookie is your second cousin, or what?
I think she's, first cousin, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel, because it's my mom had two sisters. So yeah, so the other sister's in New York. The other sister, she passed away. That was Cookie's mother.
Yeah.
So Cookie she got married. She has two children,
Miguel
and
Mackenzie,
who I met in 2010. They came to LA, and I took them. I was working at E! Entertainment at the time, so I took them out. And
they were living with me.
Yeah, I remember a conversation because when they left, we're gonna meet again at Six Flags on the next day. Said, we have to go somewhere. We have to go somewhere like Alhambra or whatever. Corona. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, who's in Corona? Well, I'm sure. I mean,
Wait, she was on video call with you. Was that or phone call?
Phone call.
Phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
That popped in my head.
Did you meet Sophia?
Never met Sophia before. And that's the thing. That's where I got confused a little bit, because I didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the first husband, but I guess she hooked up with your brother. Yeah. And I guess they both got married. This is the information I get from relatives. So it's it goes in and out of my ear, because at that time I'm concentrating on my actress panel. Leave me alone. But I would pick up on things, and then so I guess they got married, and they had Sophia.
They had Sophia.
And then I think that she's the only child, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sophia's coming to the States because my brother passed away.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. And I was telling Sophia, and I was telling Cookie, I was just on the phone with him a month ago, because Sophia got her U.S. visa. I know. So I was like, come on over. But another degree of separation. Rex was my former bandmate.
He was a singer?
He was He was my bassist.
Oh yeah, he played. He was at Barcada Hollywood. He was playing a guitar or something like that.
We had a band called Running Over Cars here in the States. So.
Okay.
So I guess degrees of separation, huh? Not too far.
Not too far at all. Yeah, this is amazing because like when I research my family history, like the Agoncillos, the Teves, and whatever like that, it comes to a point where I have to do research on the people I have met along the way, especially when I met the people who are feeling creative and all those folks. I'm like, oh, there's other interconnections here. Oh my God. Oh, there's some interconnections.
How about this?
Know.
How about this, Edwin? Last night, JJ and I, we were talking about you. And JJ's like, and even my wife said, right? Both of you said, maybe you're related to Edwin because my middle name is Santos.
I don't know.
And then what the weird part is, I'm kind of not related by blood, but by affinity because of Cookie. So same thing, how the universe works.
It's interesting. It's like I have like Filipinos have extended families,
Yeah.
right? So I have my father's side of the family. I don't know at all. It's such a mystery. Like I can't even penetrate what's going. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I'll find out in some other way. My mother's side of the family, her father is a Monroy. I know a little bit of them. They were kind of like
Big time
at in the
Monroys.
1800s or something like that. But then he passed away, and she married, and her mother married a Teves, right? So Jose Teves, like Grandpa Joe, who introduced me to wrestling. Thank you.
Yeah.
So and then that's when I met all the Teves cousins and stuff like that, and stayed in the Philippines, hung out with them all the time, and stuff like that. And then when I learned, and then when I got to know our extended family within my mother's side, Agoncillo. Oh my God! This is even like I'm more focused on them.
So wait, are you related to Teodoro Agoncillo? Are you related to the historian Teodoro Agoncillo?
Yeah.
Shoot.
Okay, and you know that timeline right there. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like, so it's like my mother's side were related at least in the directional side. I'm like 5th generation related to Marcella who made the flag.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one thing I found out. And then I didn't know that she's married to Felipe Agoncillo, who was a attorney lawyer who was part of the negotiations for the Treaty of Paris, which, by the way, the Treaty of Paris I learned in high school in the U.S. So just to bring that to the Philippine part, like, it's a puzzle Rubik's Cube. So yeah, he was the first. They say he's the first Filipino diplomat of that, but there are other Filipinos in that negotiating team. Like, so who made him? Anyway, doesn't matter.
It does matter.
People like to get titles. But here I am, the founder. Anyway, so
Now it makes perfect sense when you put context to it. I mean, it's in your DNA. It's in your DNA.
So the one who sold the American flag, the Filipino flag, I told my mom, like, well, she's not really a true Agoncillo. She got married into it. Like, she's still an Agoncillo. Okay, fine, whatever. But Maria Agoncillo, who's the true Agoncillo, because she's born in there, she married Emilio Aguinaldo.
Emilio Aguinaldo, yeah.
So he's the first president of the Philippines. Oh, I was blown away yesterday when I heard that part.
Just yesterday?
Yeah, because I was so concentrated on the Marcelo one that I didn't know about Maria. Who was married to him? Like, what? So again, I have to this weekend I'm going to just delve into more of their history.
And you're related to that?
Maria Agoncillo, who's the wife of him,
Yeah.
is connected to Marcelo. That same timeline, which is connected to my mom and
so
my
that's your
grandmother.
bloodline?
Yeah.
How about this?
Oh, I found out about a new one just yesterday. I'm like, what the hell?
How about this? Like eventually you're Santos because of your dad, right?
Which I don't know anything about.
Okay. Wow. What's your middle name? What's your mom's last name? Teves? No.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Wait.
You don't use it then, no?
I don't know. My middle name is Andrew.
I know, you don't use that's how it is in the States. You don't use your mom's last name as your middle name. Like For JJ, his mom's last name is DYD. So it's Jorge D. Buen Camino.
Okay.
Like mine is Santos. So it's like Enrico Santos Arespacochaga, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have three. Obviously, I have four names, but I don't use.
All four of them.
I mean,
except when your mom's mad at you. Then she starts calling all of your
if
names.
she's mad at me, if she's calling me out, she shouts out my brother's name. She goes like, Edwin, like who are you mad at? We just come out. Who are you mad at? Strange. Yeah.
Damn, small world.
Yeah. I always wanted, like, I didn't know. No, it wasn't really the plan. Well, when Ted kind of introduced us, and I'm kind of like, oh,
who knew, huh?
maybe I could spring this up on him. And
of course.
maybe his team didn't do any research yet.
We don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh, because you like it fresh and all of that. Okay.
You can be witness to this, that this is all organic. This conversation was never planted. And that's how we want it. Because the reason why we started this is like JJ and I and the rest of the band would be interviewed, but we know that the hypocrisy of whoever's interviewing us really isn't interested in us.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm able to give you the impression that I am genuinely interested in who you are and what you're doing based on the conversation that we're having, because there are no bullet points. There's no one sheet, right? This is just an organic conversation that we're having right now, right in front of everybody.
Right, yeah.
This is nice. I like it. So what's next for you? Now that I know your lineage is very patriotic, did it ever occur to you that that bug or that itch is really in your DNA? That's why you have the Filipino Hollywood, actors panel. That's you in your own little way contributing to what you think is a footprint that could grow within the industry.
Maybe after the fact, because I didn't know about my lineage after.
Until yesterday.
Well, no. I mean, I wrote a blog about it in 2018 something. I don't know when I wrote that blog, but actually it was before the Actors Panel. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really. I wrote a blog, but I didn't really think it was really important. I just wrote like what I discovered. Like you discovered your favorite album and you just write it out, and then you forget about it. But then when I would hear more things that I didn't cover in my blog, I'm like, oh my God. How come no one said anything to me when I was growing up?
But you know what?
I could have avoided being bullied. No, forget it.
No, but then again, it made you the person you are.
Yeah. I guess I always felt that my being a producer on different movies made me like I did the acting and I'm still doing that. I did the producing because I wanted to create something
right
of whatever. And then I did the Actors Panel because I wanted to do something different and give back to the community and increase representation. But I never thought that
it was in your bloodline. Yeah,
would be the effect of what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Until now, maybe later. Come to think of it, probably.
So there really wasn't. There really was an itch. There really was a conviction. No, without you knowing your lineage, there really was a conviction to increase or create representation for our community.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Damn, ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Santos with the accent. We're going to put links in the description so that if you want to support the Filipino Hollywood Actors Panel and whatever Edwin's doing, you guys can actually click the link and be brought there. And let's all celebrate each other so that we can all grow successfully.
Thank you for having me.